become 1 by 2. You can see the other line has this gradient, minus 1 by 2. So rather than complicating things, just keep it in your head. Perpendicular lines, negative reciprocal. Change sign, swap numerator, denominator. That's it, negative reciprocal. Okay, we can take values just to prove. I'll take this value. The x coordinate here is 4. The y coordinate here is 1. So 4, 1. This can be my x1. Where did 1 came from? Which one? Ignore this bit. This will just complicate things for you. I'm just finding the gradient directly. So x1, y1. Now let's take another point, which is a whole number. I'm taking this particular point. X-axis value 2, y-axis value is also 2. x2, y2. I'll write the formula here. M is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. I'll plug in the values y2. y2 is 2 minus y1 is 1 divided by my x2 is 2 minus my x1 is 4. So you'll see this will give me 2 minus 1 is plus 1 divided by 2 minus 4 is minus 2. So minus 2. You can see I get the same answer, minus 1 by 2. So you can calculate the values. Even if you calculate the gradient for this line, you'll get positive 2. So for perpendicular lines, the concept is if you know the gradient of one of these lines, just take negative reciprocal, you get the gradient of the other line. Okay, so don't get confused with this first point. What we mean here is when we multiply the gradients of the two. Here we have plus 2 multiplied by the perpendicular line. Its perpendicular line had a gradient of minus 1 by 2. When you multiply them, you should get minus 1 as your answer. We'll do a lot of examples, Hamdan. We are just doing concepts for now. Any doubts? Any doubts here? Okay, now let's just quickly revise everything, then we'll do past paper question. This was our first concept. Distance between 2 points, length of a straight line. Take a whole square root, bracket open, x2 minus x1, bracket closed, raised to power 2, then plus in the middle, y2 minus y1 in a bracket, then whole squared. Because today I think we have done too many concepts, too much knowledge in a single class. Maybe that might be the reason. Okay, now midpoint formula. We first find the x coordinate. To find the x coordinate, x1 plus x2 divided by 2. Then we find the y coordinate, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Equation of a straight line. Y is equal to mx plus c, where m is the gradient, c is the y-intercept. Gradient of a straight line is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Parallel lines, they have the same gradient. Perpendicular lines, they have the gradient which is negative reciprocal to each other. Okay, now off to a few past paper questions before we call it a day. Now I need you guys to focus. This is from a past paper. We have been given equation of a straight line and they have given us a few values. This is very straightforward. They just need us to substitute these values in this equation and find y. So this is very straightforward. Y is equal to replace m with minus 2. I'll just do it in a bracket. M replaced by minus 2. X replaced by minus 7. Plus, I'll just write this c in a bracket as well, which is minus 3. So y is equal to, now minus multiplied by minus is plus. 2 multiplied by 7 is 14. Then we have plus multiplied by minus, which would be minus 3. Then lastly, y is equal to 14 minus 3 is 11. That's our final answer. So you need to be able to solve this without a calculator, because for one of your exam papers, calculator would not be allowed. Next question. We have two coordinates. We have been given two coordinates, right? Coordinate A and coordinate B. x1, y1, x2, y2. They are saying calculate the length of this straight line AB. I'll go back to that slide. Yes, you can assume some of these questions are for paper 1 because the calculations are quite easy. Okay. Now, formula for distance. This is the formula for length or distance, right? Under root x2 minus x1 whole squared, y2 minus y1 whole squared. I'll write it here. D is the distance under root x2 minus x1 whole squared plus y2 minus y1 whole squared. I'll plug in the values. I'll get my answer. My x2 is 7. My x1 is in negative, right? My x1, as you can see, is negative 4. So I'll write minus and I'll replace this x1 in a bracket because negative multiplied by negative would actually become positive. So plus 4, and then I'll close the double bracket here, and there should be a squared here. Plus, let's cool it, guys. Let's cool it. y2 is negative 2 minus y1 is 6 whole square. Okay, now distance square root, this becomes, this was negative 4 by the way, this is minus 4. We had minus 4 here, as you can see, minus 4. So minus multiplied by minus becomes plus, so this becomes 7 plus 4 whole squared plus this becomes negative 8 whole squared. Minus 2 minus 6 would be minus 8. This particular question is not from, this is with a calculator past paper. This is from a with a calculator past paper. So D is equal to, this would be 11 squared plus, or rather I'll just write this would be 121. 11 squared is 121. And then we have plus 64. Then you just put this in your calculator to get your final answer. It should give you 13.6. That's the length. Is this clear, guys? Is this clear? Okay, now important thing to know, if you place minus 8 squared in your calculator will give you minus 64, which is incorrect. Because minus 8 multiplied by minus 8 is plus 64. Minus multiplied by minus is plus. So always remember, if you want your calculator to give you the correct answer, you need to place it in a bracket. So minus 8, bracket open and close. Then when you close the bracket, then you square it. This will give you plus 64. So always remember, when you have even powers always give you an answer in positive. Even if the value is negative, like this is minus 8. As long as you have even powers, the answer would be in positive. Yeah, I know, Kirat, I know. You get the concept now. Always put it in bracket, then your calculator would give you the same answer, the correct answer. Like, Alize, do you mean like this whole thing here? If you put it exactly as is here, I don't think you'll get the wrong answer. First, you need to